All right, everybody, welcome to another night of Storm King's Thunder in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. Let's go ahead and get started. We got a big battle to go tonight. Bring our players over. They're on the map, I believe. Back to Triboar. All right, so as a quick recap, we left off with the training montages are done as all of our characters made 5th level. Except for our dual class is a 4-1 currently, which is our Spellsinger. The only person we didn't get to hear of as far as what they got new was our Bard, although it's having a couple of mic problems, so we'll see if we can work through those as we go. Then we're going to go ahead and start this battle, which we had hinted at in the last session. If you missed any of our sessions, you can go ahead and check them out on the VODs or in the YouTube. That's at SirLucien's channel or for the GM perspective, or MC Kernels for the player perspective. And then the VODs in Twitch, SirLucien's Twitch. So let's see, is Ardreth ready to tell us a little bit about what our Bard got at 5th level? Maybe, maybe not. Okay, so we'll keep going. He's having a few mic issues. He might have to type some stuff in tonight. We'll see. But hopefully we'll be ready to go here, ready to play. So one thing that's happening tonight also that's a little bit different for our players is they are also playing a second character tonight. They're not only just playing their character, they're playing one of the townsfolk also. And so just to recap that, the other characters that are going to be in this battle being played by our players are Darathra Shrindrel, Dars Helgar, Narth Tezrin, Urgla Meltimer, Othavir, and Gelrin Foehammer. Oh, yep, looks like our... Okay. All right. So setting the scene, basically what's happening, we're just going to jump right in. As far as where we were, it was mostly training montage. We did a lot of RP sessions to kind of clear up or actually expand on some of our characters. We had a awesome one-on-one fight between two dwarf barbarians that were pit fighters from Waterdeep, one being Greybeard and one being somebody who came and challenged Greybeard. We also had lots of cool interactions between different players, and we hope to encourage more of that as we keep going. And so if you missed any of those good moments, I definitely recommend you go back. We even had a great story about the fire giants who had trapped Finn at one point. Give us a little insight into that. So that's another good story to take a look at. So this is the scene starts on noon of the first day of our second 10-day of, I want to say this is Alacius is the next month. Everything you guys have seen us do so far has been in Flame Rule. That was about a month of gameplay. We are now into the next month, which I believe is called Alacius. I might be pronouncing that incorrectly, but it's the first day of the second 10-day. So basically the second week of that. At high noon, people are at various places, whether they're just getting done with breakfast or meeting up with the group. I believe Finn was up talking to Gelrin about possibly making some armor to upgrade the armor that he's in, and he's probably in the start of that conversation as we hear the first crashing of noises, the screaming of voices, and something happening. So I'll reread the part that we've kind of already talked about here, but it's about around high sun. The town is shaken from its peacefulness by the screams of women and children, followed by a man yelling, "Giants, run!" Perplexed residents and shopkeepers emerge from their domiciles in time to see a large rock fall from the sky and crash into an old cart, splintering it. As a cloud of dust erupts from the wreckage, a second rock hits the ground, tumbles through a fence, slams against the wall of a building, startling a pair of mules tethered to a post nearby. All around you, people begin to shriek and scatter. So those areas, I'm going to put it here in my little GM info area. I'm going to bring a little bit of rubble in. We're going to say a cart is smashed in this area. Let me move it to the token layer. Well, we'll put it on the map layer. So there's a little bit of rubble there now you guys can see in the campgrounds. A cart has been smashed to pieces by a rock. And then we're also going to, we'll use that same thing. Objects and tokens, there we go. Oh, map layer. I'll get this right. Let's copy that. And a building has been smashed from another rock. I'll make that a little bigger. There we go. And that building has been destroyed in the center of town. So 2 rocks have come crashing in. People are starting to stream south. People are yelling and running. And the first things that we begin to see are some creatures cresting the hill. And we'll go ahead and bring them up. Oh, did not want to do that.
Anything?
Yeah, can hear you.
Yep.
All right. So I'm just bringing the stuff onto the board as this begins.
Holy crap, those guys are big.
And cresting the ridge there, you can see, some of you aren't going to be able to see this yet. The people in the south, there's too many buildings in the way for you to see quite yet. For those of you that are playing characters to the north area, you'll be able to see cresting the kind of ridge, which is this area right here. You see some figures basically wearing plate armor. Let's see, those people that are up in the north, so like Othavir, Gelron, Fohammer, Finn, anybody else in the north? Anybody, and Dars are probably the ones that can see it. Ulgra's probably in the inside. So, who is playing Othavir?
I've got Oathfear.
Okay. So yeah, you can make a check to see if you recognize what these things are that are marching in plate armor heading towards you. Also, Gelron Fohammer is being played. That's also going to be played by you, Ardreth, is Gelron Fohammer. You should have a character sheet for him.
Perception?
This would be just a history check to know what these things are. And you don't need a very high roll, so yeah. Okay, so Othavir recognizes them as being Orogs. They're a type of orc. Orogs, you know them to be really strong. Usually kind of the higher level of orc. These guys are wearing plate mail and they're marching in front of the giants. And you can see the heads of the giants, and they haven't crested the hill yet, but you can see they're about 18 feet tall, so you can get a good look at them as they're coming up. You don't really see too much else. The other stuff's small enough that it's still down behind the ridges. And they're beginning to march, and they're moving. Let's just put a general marker here. They're moving in that direction thus far. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and start rolling initiatives because we're just going to initiative this whole battle out as we commence the attack on Triboar. Let me get my turn order up and cleared. All right, so everybody can roll initiative, including for your second character. Make sure you select your token first and then roll initiative for that character. Then select the other token and then roll initiative from that character sheet for the second character if you can.
Not seeing initiative on the sheet. Is that something we can just roll a 24 at this point?
If
Once
it's
selected?
not listed, I believe you can then roll. I believe it's based
You can click
off
on their
your-
name.
Oh yeah, you double click their name, I believe.
There we go. No, that lets me edit it. Hold on.
The line will go on Finn's turn. All right.
Dang it.
So I'm going to bring up my guy.
Ouch. It must be before noon.
It's all right, dear Greybeard. When you're getting up, you bump into me, and we both just like stumble into each other. I'm like, God damn it, Greybeard, just
Tell it that way.
yeah. No, the other one.
All right, I'm double clicking, but I'm not seeing a way to do initiative for him.
Who do you have?
I just double clicked the name on the character sheet. Did that work, Logan?
Yeah, so open up the character sheet and then make sure you got your token clicked and then double click the name. It worked for mine.
Worked for me too.
And you're gonna click it on the character sheet tab where it shows his stats and his stuff, and then it's the red name.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, okay. That makes more sense. There's only...
All right. Looking good so far. And those of you who are watching, bear with us because I'm going to switch it over to the scene at hand, which you're not seeing yet. Here we go. We've got a lot of tokens in this battle. It's going to be a big battle, so it's going to go a little slow. And it's going to pick up. So get ready. We're just getting in the opening stages here as we get everybody listed. Like these fire giants that are next. Go. The turn order is going to be crazy big. All right. And where those guys are on that turn, orcs are on that turn, and that's how I'm going to do that. Okay. Is everybody good?
I'm good.
Yep.
Good. Yeah, I'm good. Too.
All right, let's shuffle it. Dar's Helgar is going to be our up first. Okay, Dar's.
Oh shit, that's me. let's see. I am sorry. I'm just like having all these display issues right now. Whatever. I'll work on a smaller screen. So Dars is like, holy shit! All this shit just went. Oh, sorry. Dars Helgard is gonna be like, oh no. And so can I see all the bullshit coming from the bad direction?
You definitely see gigantic, kind of taller orcs in plate armor marching up the hill. You're starting to see the tops of the heads of the fire giants that are kind of cresting that hill area, and you see rubble all around you. Like your house that you usually live in has just been smashed by a rock. And there's a cart that's in the area of the campground that you keep care of is also been smashed. And now you see people streaming away to the south, running and screaming, and that's about what you see so far.
So let's see. Oh man, talk about tactical advantages. I will run to the this big house thing right here, south of me.
Okay.
I'll run over there as quickly as I can if I can make it in a turn.
Yeah, the scale should be set, so you can use the ruler to try to figure out, your 30 feet or your 60 feet or whatever it is for your movements. Realize that this is a big map, so when you see the ruler and how far things are, you're going to realize how much space you have to cover, just so you see it.
Oh man, I'm so glad my connection decided to not work today, so I have to work on the smaller screen. Alright, so I'm gonna move... I guess I'll just try and sprint it out and make it over here. Let's see, I moved a little bit. I moved like... Oh man. Let's see. So, yeah, I can make it over here. So I'm going to use my entire turn to move from here to about right there and get behind that wall. And that will be my turn, along with drawing my short sword, which I assume I have on me.
Okay, yeah. Awesome.
Alright.
All right, and so for those of you that are in the audience, Dars he's been paid to take care of the different campgrounds. There's two campgrounds in Triboar, this area that's called, on my map, the audience can see a T2 and a T3. And these are the campgrounds where the caravans come in and they can set up camps, they can park their wagons before either moving on or selling stuff and whatnot. And Dars lived in this house, and he would go around and make sure these campgrounds stay cleaned up. And that's what he was paid to do. So now we're moving on to Urgula Meltamir. She is the owner of the North Shield House, which is one of the inns and taverns in Triboar. So we are now to Urgula. You're inside the building, and you're hearing crashing and screaming on the outside, but you're not able. You can run to the window, maybe just using up 5 of your movement. And out the window, you can see marching, plate-mailed, orc-like creatures heading northwest. Or I'm sorry, they're heading southwest. Looks like into town.
What the hell's going on in here? Stedman, get my Morning Star now! Run and get my Morning Star. I'm gonna get all the cooks and everybody in the inn. She's yelling and screaming. Get whatever you can grab.
Okay.
She's rallying her troops.
All right. Yeah, you're looking at these, and are you going to stay in the building for now?
Hell yeah!
All right. Staying in the building.
No one coming in here.
There we go. Let's get rid of that arrow now. All right. Do you want to hold your action for anything?
Yeah. If any of these fool orcs come in here.
Smash him with a...
bash.
All right. Now, Urgla was not only the owner of the North Shield House, but she's actually, I believe, an ex-adventurer, correct?
Correct.
Awesome. Perfect. All right. You guys rolled great for all of your NPC characters. Good job. Moving on to Darathra. Now, Darathra is the protector of the town. Stays in the center here. And has been in charge of the defense of the town. And unfortunately, she has sent the 12, which is usually the militia that is kept on hand, south to the ranches that were being attacked by orcs. So they are currently out. So, Darathra, you're on your own for this battle.
Oh, goody.
Peace out.
Should have paid the extra money for the embassy security, mister.
Nice. All right. I guess she begins barking orders, even though it's just townspeople. Something like, anyone with a bow to the campgrounds. Here and there. We'll make a stand. Nobody bunch up. Look out for the boulders. And she'll climb to the top of the tower, and she gets her heavy crossbow out.
Okay. Awesome. At the top of the tower, you have a good look at plate mail wearing Orogs. You definitely recognize what they are, and you immediately recognize, even from the tower, you're able to see the fire giants. And just to describe these a little bit for those of you that maybe not know too much about fire giants, they are typically 18 feet tall. The interesting thing about them is they have the same kind of proportions as a dwarf. So the same type of arm to leg to torso ratio that a dwarf would have. Well, these are like the giant 18-foot dwarves. They have that same really broad chest, longer arms, shorter legs, and just remind you of being a gigantic dwarf who's just been upscaled. They are also wearing, the Orogs have plate that you can see, and the fire giants, where'd they go?
Did you say the Orogs are 18 feet tall?
No, the Orogs are regular. They're just taller orcs, but they're orc size.
Okay, cool.
I kind of think of them as using a Warhammer reference, biggins.
Okay, I was gonna say that's cool.
Yeah, those orcs with the plate armor have two-handed great axes. Is what they're carrying, and they're trudging along towards the south west. And the fire giants have gigantic two-handed greatswords, just like they have in their picture there. All right. Heavy crossbow wise, I don't know what your range is, but it's not 467 feet, so way out of range. You might look up that range on that crossbow just so you know. Okay.
Yeah, it's 100/400.
Oh. So, all right, keep an eye on that because probably by next turn you'll be pretty close to a long-range shot. All right. So that is Darathra. I hope I'm saying her name right. Shendril. Moving along, we are now
wait a
to...
minute.
Oh, go ahead.
I didn't see the guys on the map. I thought you were just staying there running along the road outside of her inn.
Oh, no,
So-
they're definitely on the map.
Okay. That was my bad. I was on the phone with insurance. So she sees giants and all these guys coming from that direction.
Yeah.
Okay. Then she's going to hustle everybody out and get to the center of town.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and you can make that move. Her movement's
Say
probably 30-ish.
Yeah, we'll say she gets out about maybe another 30.
Yeah. Okay, so people start streaming towards the south. All right. Gelron Fohammer. Gelron is one of the blacksmiths who in armor in town, lives in the north side of town. This is being ran by Ardreth.
All right. We'll see. Is the mic any better?
Now it's perfect.
Yeah.
All right. So we will head. Is it? How do we get the distance to go again here?
There's like a ruler, although it looks like a comb. You click on it once, and then you can just hold it down and see how far. You can see Finn. You were talking to Finn. You were just about to start talking about armor prices, so you two are kind of right near each other when this started. So you do know Finn is there, and his white lion is standing in your courtyard.
Finn, do we head south?
Absolutely.
Okay.
At all speed.
Well, I'm a dwarf. This is speed. That was a Greybeard impersonation there, in case you missed it.
I thought Greybeard was talking.
We all did. We thought, oh man.
Now I can't actually get him to move, though.
Yeah. You do the range, but then you go back to the arrow to pick your token up and move them.
Gotcha. So you just kind of guesstimate. All right.
Yeah.
Should be right about there.
Yeah. And you guys could just be approximate. It doesn't have to be exact.
And I'm carrying 2 battle axes, not just one. Wait, is that what it is? No, a big battle axe. There we go.
You get to use it twice in a turn. That's what's good.
Yes, I just figured that piece out in my reading.
What are their names?
The front side is Joe, and the back side is Mama.
I figured one was Mama.
All right. Yeah, and as you're definitely seeing what's coming along, so now we'll move to our first NPC moves. So our Orogs are marching, staying together, staying close to each other, and they're going to move 30. So they're going to move about there. About like that. Or close. Also, these guys, which are those, so people can see those at home. Ooh, they can move faster.
No rocks, no rocks, no rocks, no rocks.
These guys can move. Definitely up to there. Okay. What you two see now are regular orcs riding on the backs of axe beaks. They're kind of like giant ostriches kind of things. Their tokens are probably a little bit bigger than they actually would represent, but it just makes it easier to move them that way. They're the same size as you guys. The axe beaks are probably the size of your lion, right around that same size, size of a mount, basically. And yeah, these guys are going to move this way. These guys.
I call upon a pterodactyl to eat them like a joust.
All right, make a roll.
Calling it a favor.
Okay, so the Orogs and the Orcs who move on the Orog's turn have moved. So you can see the Orogs are still marching. The Orogs are marching towards the southwest. Looks like they're heading into town. The Orcs on the Axebeak appear to be flanking out on the edges, heading around the edges of town, and they're moving quite a bit faster. They're at a sprint, whereas the Orogs are just at a regular move, as far as you can tell. That brings us to Jarrel, our first NPC move, our
All
first
right,
PC move.
So these Orog guys here are the giant dwarves?
No, the giants are giant. They have the same proportions as a dwarf.
These guys are. The big honkers.
Yeah,
fire
the
giants
big
in the back
tokens.
there.
Yeah, those are
Okay.
the fire giants.
And then what are these guys? Or do we know?
What are which guys?
The little guys with the flame spiky hair?
You don't see them.
Okay, we don't see them. All right, and then the orcs we see, and they're flying on something, or they're riding on something.
Yeah, from Jarl's perspective, you're probably not seeing them yet.
Yeah. I haven't seen them yet. Okay. All right. All right. So Jarl's. I'm assuming we're all inside the inn.
Yes. Yep. You guys were in the inn, finishing up with your lunch or breakfast. If some of you woke up late, and you were just finishing up as you hear the crashings and the screams from outside.
All right.
And this is
Sounds like
basically the
this.
first 6 seconds after that.
All right. So I wonder what the commotion is about. So I'm gonna get up and poke my head outside.
Yeah, and the first thing you see is just tons of townsfolk running south along that road that heads south out of town. Some of them are yelling giants. Some of them are yelling orcs. A lot of them are trying to carry children or hurry people along. And you see dust clouds from the debris that's been created to the north of you, which would kind of be coming from the caravan campground area. So there's definitely like big dust clouds there.
Okay, so I'm going to probably get about as far as the road, and so I hear the calls about giants and orcs, and I'm gonna say where.
And yeah, somebody running by kind of points back over their shoulder, and they kind of point to the northeast of town. Just they kind of wave as they keep running.
Okay, so I could probably make out smoke, just kind of a dust cloud coming above this building here.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I can't see anything.
Yeah.
So, all right. So that'll be my turn. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna dash. So I'm going to move. Yeah. So I'll probably make it up to about there.
All right, sounds awesome.
All right, that's me.
Cool. Moving on to Ka'Fey. First 6 seconds, you're hearing stuff outside, all the same stuff I just described to Jarrel. You've noticed Jarl's heading out the door.
I will have fallen Jarl out the door, heard his conversation, and the minute I know that there's giants on the way, I will cast Mage Armor on myself.
Okay.
And that is my action.
Let's put that in. Is that a 1 minute one, or is that
8
one longer?
hours.
Oh, I'm not
Yeah,
even
it's
going
8
to track
hours.
it then. Okay, so it's
Yeah.
just up. You got it. All right. So run, that's your action. So you moved your 30. Gotcha. Perfect.
Yeah.
Finn, you were up with Gelrin. You can see some orcs starting to sweep around.
All right. He mounts, and then is there anybody lagging behind us? Are we going to be concerned at all with villagers?
No, there was hardly anybody up here to the north. You see some people running from this building that's next to you here, the Udanas Arms. They're running from it, and they're heading towards the road, and they're just trying to get away from there. There was nobody else at Gelron's Forge, and you just see lots of people vaguely down here, getting into the streets and then starting to run south or run away. Some people you think are probably huddling in their homes too. But you don't quite see them.
All right. We'll maintain pace with Galrin. and make sure none of the innocents leaving the Ul'Danath's arms get caught up by the axe peaks.
Okay. All right. That will bring us to Ardreth, our bard. So we had you also down at the inn with everybody from our last session.
Yeah.
And you see Jarrel and Coffee are the first to respond. You see them head outside to the commotion.
Okay. So I will. Is Greybeard still inside?
Yeah, him and Ian seem to be wanting to finish the last bite of their food before they move.
Okay. So I will join Coffee then. As everyone's running out, I'm assuming at this point there's something not so pleasant going on outside. So I will flee out as well.
Yeah, you wouldn't even need an insight roll to realize something is something is wrong.
All right. And so my run should stop me there. And then I will cast one of my 3 bardic inspirations on Ka'Fey. And the change now is at 5th level, it's actually a die 8. So you'll have a die 8 bonus to use once. I just put it inside the chat.
Kick butt.
And I'll put a token on you so you remember. Let me know when you use it, Coffee, and I'll pull it off, or you can pull it off yourself. Awesome. So that was action, inspiration, bonus action. Good. And yeah, you're seeing people stream down. You heard Jarrel interact with them because it's all happening in that 6 seconds there. There's definitely commotion to the northeast. You don't know quite what it is. You're hearing people say giants. You're hearing people say orcs, but you haven't seen anything yet as you've stumbled out.
And just to make it fun, as I cast it on him, I tap him on the shoulder and yell, "Tag, you're it."
All right.
What?
All right, that brings us to, so let's see, that was Ardreth. Let me shift so you guys can see him in the Twitch thing there. And now that moves us to Ian, who's finishing your last spoonful of stew that you had.
I am getting up, and I get up and and me and Greybeard get up near around the same time, and I bump into. We're both like worrying about getting out the door, and we just keep bumping into each other, which is why we're so late on the initiative. And I run out, and I see literally nothing except my compatriots and a lot of screaming humans. So I go there, and then I see everyone going up this way. And I hear them saying giants. Yeah, right. I hear them saying giants and orcs, correct?
Correct.
So, giants and orcs, remembering the last time we saw that combination, I'm like, I don't want to be in the middle of town, because that seems where all the bad things happen. So I'm going to go around the building. So that was 15 to get here. It's 20 to get over here. No, wrong tool. 20 to get here, so that's my movement. I can't do anything here, so I move my extra 35 feet to go right there, and I can't do anything else. So that is my turn.
Awesome. You definitely are hearing a commotion to the northeast. You're pretty sure, and definitely have noticed everybody streaming to the southwest. All right. Narth Tezrin is up.
So I'm assuming that my colleague Alastra, I'm assuming I'm pronouncing that right. I'm assuming she's not there.
Yeah, she is here. Yep, she's in
here.
the lion's share. Yep.
All right,
You had no
so-
customers at the moment. You're hearing a lot of commotion outside, and just to bring our audience up to speed, Narth is the co-owner of the lion's share, which is a lion's share coster, or lion's coster, which is kind of like a adventurer's outfitting merchant shop.
All right, so Narth, he's gonna look up and go, "What the hell was that?" And he is going to grab his short sword and he's going to run outside. And he's going to see Dars. Dars, what's going on?
Fucking just monsters coming from the northwest, east. Never eat east from the northeast. Giants, orcs, I don't know.
All right. Is this
Says Dars in a rattled voice to you.
yeah. And then I can see the rubble of his home. Is this an entrance over here as well?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So he's gonna tell Dars to get inside. And then he's gonna run through the lion's share to the other side, and as he's going through, he's going to tell Alestra, Dars is yelling something about giants and things. His home is ruined. Get to your weapon. And he's just gonna run to the door, and he's just gonna peek out and see what he sees, and that'll be his turn.
Yeah, and we'll basically say that building is the left-hand side is more of the merchant area, and the right-hand side is more of the living quarters for you and your partner.
Oh, we live there.
Yeah, so you live in this area too. So you're in the living area at the moment. That's a hallway that kind of joins the two. And yeah, so she goes and grabs a weapon and then is hiding in the bedroom, looking out the window or something.
Perhaps I should have asked this before. What kind of partners are we?
I think it's just business partners.
Business partners.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not like the same room or anything. All right. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, so I
that is
warned her,
north.
and I'm just looking outside. And do I see anything? Or is the buildings blocking the way?
From there, you were starting to get a glimpse of probably the orcs in plate armor, and that's about the look you can from where you're at. So you definitely see orcs in plate armor coming.
Okay. Do I see the giants?
No.
Okay. All right. That's me.
All right. Giants are up. Boy, you guys think you have a bunch of character sheets. I have all the character sheets. Oh, there we go. Well, okay, there. That's that. So they are striding forward.
Don't forget, one of the two giants has agoraphobia and flees these open spaces.
Yeah, flees right towards you.
Yes.
He's like, save me. Tries to give you a big hug.
So very.
It begins to crest the hill. So their heads and shoulders are cresting the hill, but they are climbing up this. The ravine here is about a 30-foot ravine. It's not too hard to scrabble up or anything, but it's an elevation change of about 30 feet-ish. And they're starting to climb, striding forward. And as they do that, they move forward that much. And then two boulders are hurled into the center of town. Let's roll a quick, just for fun. 17, definitely. Oh, and a 26. Good God. Yeah, so the first rock smashes into Darethra Shrindrel's tower. Darethra, you grab onto the parapet up there as it shakes, and you almost think it's going to topple, but it seems to hold. Let me put... yeah, let me grab...
Steady now. Everyone, take your places. Starship acting.
Yeah, awesome. It was good. So put some rubble. It has smashed that front corner with a rock. And then you also notice... Jarrel, you hear the whistling of a rock, and it smashes into this building and tears it down next to you. You're actually you're hit with dust and smoke and nothing that damages you, but it definitely jars you as you see it get crushed by a rock.
Jar rolls me.
All right. And actually, Jarrel, you have the very first flashback of any of the PCs thus far. You now have a deep understanding of what those rocks were dropping onto Nightstone felt like as this thing just gets destroyed next to you. You've never seen a building just get tore apart in a single blow like this. It's definitely a moment you will remember. And that is their turn, but they have a couple of things that are going to move on their turn. So let me take care of them. They're a 30. Okay, so they're a 30 feet also. So they're just going to be right next to them. You guys. About there. And about there. Okay. Their turn is complete. Greybeard. Not quite the slowest of everybody that's going on. You beat one other person. So Greybeard left in a tavern seeming to be empty, finishing his stew. Everybody is outside. Screaming and yelling is going on. You've heard additional crashing and the sounds of like siege. You've heard what a siege is like. You know what catapults throwing rocks at stone walls and buildings sounds like, and that's the crashing you're hearing outside.
So, have we heard anyone? Are we hearing giant orcs? Blah blah blah.
Yeah, you're hearing all of that being yelled outside.
And do I see Ian? I can't pick out.
Not till you get outside. Yeah, once you're outside, you can see she's heading towards the corner of the two buildings. It looks like she's running that way.
Hey, could you do me a favor and put the tabs up top or something? Because they're right in the middle of my map.
Which tabs? And I think you have control of them.
Yeah? Okay, I'll work on it. Okay. Ruler. And I'm old and blind, I can't see.
And do you mean the turn order or the names at the bottom? What?
The names of the people. Okay, is that 65 there?
Yeah, about. Pretty close.
All right, I will. Yeah, just about 70, so right up by.
Yeah, you see a dust-covered Jarrel. As you move up there, you see a smashed building that you knew was there probably an hour ago. You see people streaming down the road, yelling. Lots of crying, lots of fear, anxiety, people carrying children.
And my last word to Ian, is something like, "Why didn't you get up in the tower where you could see them? Shoot! I'm gonna hide by a building and chop one's leg off."
Awesome. All right, we're good. Let's finish Oathevere out, and that's one full turn. It's gonna be a long battle.
Oathevere will cast Mage Armor, and then bolt all of his doors at this point.
So Oathevere, just for those of you who know, he's a saddle and harness maker of repute. He's actually pretty good at it, but also apparently has a few other things up his sleeve. And he works at the Oathevere's harness shop up towards the north. And yeah, you can see them out your windows. You can start to feel the marching of the Orogs and the steps of the fire giants. And you've heard the crashing of buildings being torn apart somewhere in town.
Yeah, he's bolting his door here for the time being.
All right. That will put us at the top of the order, but we'll go ahead and take our first 5-minute break. and then we'll come back and we'll enter into round 2, which for all of those that are watching and are 5th edition fans, only 6 seconds have passed in games thus far, and we're moving on to our next 6 seconds. So that's amazing.
I think this is going to be the Battle of March.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. It's probably gonna take us a bunch of sessions. In reality, it'll be like a 1 minute battle.
It'll be all of March.
Yeah. All right, so I'll go ahead and move us over to the break screen. We're gonna take a 5-minute break, and we'll bring you guys right back in.